All right, people, here we are again. It's that time, it's that place for another episode of Iris of Our Eye. This is 32. I'm sitting down with Fireside Shadow. I don't actually know her name. It's her artist name. Unless it's on her birth certificate, I might be a little misinformed, but I'm still the host, Zach on Ebb and Flow. Who, what, when. It's September 3rd, 2024, 6 p.m. ish in my time zone. And we're on the internet. You're listening to us through the internet or watching us on the internet, and we're just here to have fun, talk about art, and see what the fuck's good with this artist's hero's journey, and maybe share some wisdom, share some laughs. I don't know, whatever happens is what happens. So Fireside or Shadow, I don't know. We'll see what sounds more natural as we go. Is a musician. She found me on Threads because I'm marketing myself on social media successfully somehow. And listen to, don't tell me, I definitely listened to this and I thought it was great, but I gotta
Oh,
find
thank
it.
you.
The song is called Spider's Eyes.
Hmm.
Spider's Eyes. Remember there was a river in the music video, and it sounded, I guess, I'm not gonna say it sounded like classic rock because I feel like that's like very like specific, but there's like definitely elements of rock to the song. And then I don't know, I guess maybe like new wave or alternative, if that resonates with how you describe your music, but that was just like what my
Yeah,
ear.
for sure. That's kind of how I think of it. I don't know what to call it really. It's alt rock. Like that's been my background, but I've been doing everything electronically. So it's kind of alt rock electronic, I call it, but I don't know. I don't care about labels too much.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just like one of those things that like because people ask you like, oh, like what kind of music do you make? And I same thing. I'm like, I don't
Just
know. Like it's
noises, I
just
guess.
right, like there's a rhythm. There's a rhythm. Like
It's in
maybe
4/4, if you can believe that.
classic. Classic.
Uh,
Oh, good. Fantastic. So I guess, yeah, to start the classic question, what
yeah.
is art to you?
Is it cliche to say everything?
Yeah, well,
I
well,
yeah, it's amazing. It's something that I've always had in my life, like my entire life. I started songwriting when I was like 3 or 4. My parents were musicians, so I had an example. But
okay.
yeah, always was writing, drawing. I wanted to be an author at one point. And I really respect when other people make art too. All those forms, I'm all about it.
Mhm.
It's what I want my whole world to be, but I have to work.
So like, would you is a goal or what something you're pursuing in your future to be just doing it full time as a way
Oh
of
my,
making the living?
that would be amazing. I would love that. I know it's really difficult to do that. Like even people who do make it big are still working, like a full-time job, but I would love that if it did happen and I would love to tour and just perform every night.
Hmm.
But, you know.
I mean, it's totally possible. I feel like life is this giant mental game. So if you telling yourself it's going to be more difficult, then it will be more difficult. But
Hmm.
I just was literally watching this video about it before talking to you that it's like the action and then over time that becomes the results, but you have to like give yourself that time and keep doing the things that like in the moment don't seem to be like doing anything, but then it like compounds.
It really does. It's crazy. Like even, I mean, on a very small scale, like when I started this project, well, I started it a while back, but I'm finally releasing stuff for this project and it's growing fairly quickly, like from like what I expected anyway.
Hmm.
I'm already at like 500 people on Threads and my music videos getting views like pretty quickly. I had one a few years back and it took like I don't know, a year or two to get up to like 300 views and it's this one's already at 200, which is super awesome
Hmm.
for me,
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. I don't have any of that stuff. Like I have this music out, um, but I'm not promoting it or doing the right like business marketing side of things, I guess, for it. Or I also just don't feel like what I've made so far is like worth doing that with. I'm like, I just did it so I could say that I did it, because most people don't even get to that. And then everything after that's like, all right, now I gotta actually like improve at my craft and make something that's like worth making music videos and doing all this extra stuff with.
Oh yeah, and I mean that all takes time and practice. I was at that stage for quite a while too, because I went from not just singing in a band, but I was singing in a band and I was writing there, but transferring that to like a home studio, I had to take a few years to kind of learn what I was doing, and you know.
Yeah, especially if as an independent artist, generally it's like everything is on your shoulders. You're wearing every single fucking hat. Like I
Yup.
lucked out. Right, exactly. Like, I lucked out. The dude who's helping me make the second album is just like a wizard on Ableton. So like I don't have to like I could just walk in like the fucking like a superstar or a rock star and be like, yeah, we're just gonna like work on this. Like cool. Well, I'm gonna like get my hands dirty with it with the fucking the keyboard, but
Oh yeah. It's all a lot.
it's multiple skills, multiple hats, just fucking making it all happen.
Oh yeah.
But you had said parents like were just musicians from the get, so like that was
Mhm.
obviously like helpful to just have that
Mhm.
in the home 24/7.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
was
just
always around it.
lucky, lucky.
Very much so. That, yeah. I'd have to
It just
agree.
yeah, dude, it takes fucking it takes like 10 years to get to a point where like, oh yeah, I think I'm like okay now. So
Mhm.
crazy. But I'm just curious as to other influences, like what you listened to growing up, or like what we would hear and be like, oh, I want to like learn to play this, and how that like maybe a little bit of the story of that.
Let's see. Well, I mean, my probably first ever influence was Fleetwood Mac because I
Mm.
mean that's what my parents listened to, and I thought it was really cool. I just wanted to write songs. I was always tinkering around on the keyboard I guess it was a full ass piano that they had in the house.
Hmm.
And I would write little stupid things and mostly lyrics and melodies. And then when I was a little bit older, maybe like 10 or something, my dad had GarageBand on his computer and let me kind of mess around with it. And it was just loops at the time, but still,
Hmm.
I would just spend when I was at his house, like the whole time doing that whenever I could. So, oh my God,
Sure.
he made me release. It was the stupidest thing. I made these like two songs, and they were like, keep in mind, I was like 10. And I wrote songs that I thought other people would want to hear. So they were really stupid. Like, just like, I'm a hot girl kind of subject matter.
Sure.
And my dad was like, okay, we're going to make CDs of this and you're going to give this to everyone in your class for Valentine's Day.
Oh my God. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, my whole class got it. I didn't want to do it.
No, 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 definitely. I mean, it's like one of those things where like, especially when you're a little kid, you're like hella self-conscious.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so like your dad was like, here, we'll just like make you like grow as a human being right from the beginning. Like, fuck, okay.
Oh my God, I know. And I remember being like really self-conscious that my voice sounded like a kid voice too. So I was just like, I want to
Unbelievable.
wait. Just wait until I'm older and don't sound like a kid.
Like, oh no, the kid sounds like a kid. What the fuck? Who would have thunk? Unbelievable.
I know, just rotten.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just, in a way, I envy you, because I just feel like I got like a very different experience growing up as a kid. I remember like trying to like write a whole ass song because I was very inspired by the All American Rejects at the time.
Oh.
Still in a way, kind of am. But like, yeah, trying to write the song it's by with their similar energy of those guys, and just my brother was like, nah, this sucks. And I'm just like, oh, thanks, dude. I mean, I maybe didn't say
Wow.
it like that verbatim, but like, yeah, I definitely just remember being like devastated, like, bro, like you're my fucking like you're my guy, dude. Like, what the fuck? And he's just like, nah. I'm like, fuck you guys, dude. I can sing. I can fucking be a musician. Fucking goddamn family.
Oh my God, that's awful. Especially
Dev-
like your first experience letting people hear your stuff.
Oh, I wasn't even like playing an instrument. I remember trying to like learn how to play the guitar, going to like mall fucking music
Mhm.
lessons and being like the high E string F and G and like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and then being like, my fingers hurt. I don't want to do this anymore. So there's definitely a little bit of like lack of discipline on it, mixed with, yeah, no one in my family was really musically oriented. We didn't go to church, so there was no like free pass into any like
Right.
musically inclined environments. But
Yeah, I can imagine how rough that would be.
yeah, if it could just made me cooler in the long run, I guess. Just fucking found it later in my life, so no big deal.
Yeah, at
But
least you found it. Not
true.
everyone does.
Yeah, dude, fear is the mind killer, to quote the fucking what is it, the Jessica something Benny Gesserit from Dune. I just started getting into Dune, so I'm just like that one is fresh in my brain. That stupid quote. That's like I don't know. I love it. It's a great series, but it's supposed to be fucking interviewing you about your art. I guess did you had said about singing in a band like just like the progression, I guess, of like your musical career from like making the I don't know what grade it was, but the 2 song Kid CD to getting into the band to this project, which I'm not actually sure. Is it called the name of that song, or is it a whole
It's
album, or just like what is it?
the project is called Fireside Shadow, and then the debut release is Spider's Eyes, and yeah, that is my there was a lot that happened before I got to this point for sure. But
Mhm.
so you're asking what like kind of the journey getting here
Yeah, just
a little
the
bit.
hero's journey, yeah, going out and making it happen and coming back and be like, fuck, okay, I did it.
Yes. So yeah, songwriting as a kid, mostly just to myself. And then when I got a little bit older, I didn't want to be like my parents because I was like, I want to do my own thing. So then I was more into like painting and stuff for a while, and then I kind of swung back around to it when I was 15, and I started like a little garage band that went nowhere. No one took it serious. They just, you know, it was an excuse to hang out on Wednesdays.
Hmm.
And I had to teach the drummer how to drum,
Oh, rip, dude.
which was funny because I couldn't really drum either. I just knew like a few things, but
Sure.
so yeah, that went nowhere, which was fine. I'm pretty sure that is still on MySpace though.
Oh my God, dude. I
That
didn't
the
even think
album
MySpace still exists.
thing. Yeah. And then nothing happened for a while yet. I was more into being an author for a while, which also didn't go anywhere. But then I started a band in my early 20s, and then that lasted for quite a while. That was 5 years. We played around the Twin Cities area in Minnesota quite a bit, a little bit in Wisconsin. And then, yeah, that disbanded after 5 years. And then I kind of did my own project, not this one, but one before this one, where I was
Mhm.
working with somebody else. And then I just wanted to do my own thing, so now we're here.
Sure. Sure.
Hmm.
So everything in Spider's Eyes and everything that comes after, is Fireside Shadow like the name of the album, or is it like
It's just a single.
right?
So yeah, it's the title of the single, and
Okay.
then yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's okay.
I know because I don't know how it's either supposed to be done or how other artists do it. Like I just made like full albums both times that I see people
Hmm.
like putting out like either singles or like mixtapes or just things that are like oh, there's probably a different word for another thing that's like more than 4 songs or 5 songs on a mixtape, but like
Yeah, an EP. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like oh,
Hmm.
that's an option. I don't have to do a whole album every time. Like, oh shit. Like
I know this is going to result in an album eventually, but not quite yet. It'll probably be like beginning of next year. Gonna be kind of
mhm,
dropping singles until then.
sure. And then like it all like comes out onto one thing.
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I just got song 4 back from my mixing engineer, and it
Nice.
sounded. I'm excited. He
Dude,
killed
that's
it.
amazing, dude. That's so great. Like it's such a accomplishment, milestone accomplishment. I remember like doing my whole first thing, even though I am gonna have to do a fucking 2.0 because it still wasn't great for it was where I made it in my life up to that point, but it's just being like, oh shit, like I really did do it. It exists. You can listen to it.
Yeah. It's really cool.
It feels good. Feels good.
Love the process.
Dude, never ending journey. Never ending journey for sure.
Never.
I suppose. I mean, until you stop breathing, but whatever. Don't rush the finish line. What would you say over either the process of developing yourself to get to this point or recording and creating the single and eventual album, would you say is like the most important piece of wisdom or a significant lesson that you learned that you think is worth sharing?
I want to say something along the lines of like, don't wait until the moment is right because it never will be.
Mm,
Like, life will always keep going on, shit'll always happen. It's like you just kind of have to make time for the thing if
mm,
you want to accomplish it, and you just kind of have to start and go for it. You know,
no.
life
Mm,
life's definitely hard sometimes. I know I've been through a lot of shit, but yeah, you just kind of have to swing back around to it when you can and just keep moving forward.
mm. Yeah, yeah, you so like I imagine I don't remember where this like this isn't a template either, but like what like an image in my mind that like translates these concepts of like wisdom and shit is like if you had a backpack on and you could only carry so much weight in that backpack and you were filling it full of like things that you wanted to do with your life or like what your priorities were, that you could only
Hmm.
fit so many huge ass priorities in your life before it either was too heavy and you gotta put one down or like make it smaller so it's less heavy and be able to actually carry with you.
Oh yeah, that's a good analogy.
Wish I could remember who or where I learned it, but it's just in my brain.
Hmm.
Lives rent free. What can I say?
Some music
So
is the boulder in the backpack.
yeah. And then we're just being Sisyphus pushing it up the hill
Yeah,
forever.
pretty much. It's worth it though. We're gonna be buff.
Yeah. There you go. Looking at the positives always. That's a superpower for sure.
Gotta.
You
There's
have to,
lots of
dude.
negatives to lok at, but that doesn't. That goes in.
Exactly. God damn it, dude. Definitely goes in songs.
Yeah.
Like, smile, laugh at my pain, or cry or sing along, I guess, right?
One of the two.
One of the two.
Or
One of the
both.
two.
I'll cry.
Yeah, whatever it is. Enjoy it while it lasts. Nothing, yeah, impermanence, that's been a thing that I've been meditating on a lot recently. I pulled this card out of a oracle deck at a ayahuasca ceremony, and it was impermanence. So whenever something like I want to say hiccups that reminds me of just like echoes it a little bit and whatever. I'm just like, oh yeah, fuck. Enjoy the good times. Don't worry about the bad times because nothing lasts.
Oh yeah. It's like, there's a balance of both. Some things are permanent. Like, um, I got diagnosed with a disease that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life, but it's also not the only thing either, you
Mm.
know?
Is it Lyme disease?
It's actually type 1 diabetes. I just got diagnosed
Uh,
with that last year, and that's the
damn.
one that doesn't go away.
Yeah, yeah.
My body just said, fuck your pancreas.
Yeah, dude, your pancreas is like, you know what? I don't think you need any more insulin. Sorry, dude. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm, I'm sure at some point when the AIs are just generating 3D printing pancreases that it'll come back around. At least I pray that they give us the space age technology that'll fucking fix all the problems of fucking government.
Oh yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, just gotta get there. Just gotta make it.
And just
Okay,
keep living in the meantime. It's okay.
that's it. That's all we can do. That's all we
Hmm.
can do.
Truly.
Truly. I'm curious because you said one of the goals is to be able to get to that like performing full time or like gigging, touring, being the finisher, the center of attention person. And then I was also curious because you had said that you didn't want to be exactly like your parents. So were your parents studio musicians or like what was their?
So they met in a band,
Hmm.
and got married, like, I don't remember how many years later, probably like five, no, 8 years. They told me that 100 times. And let's see. And then they did split up because not a good relationship actually, but my mom continued by doing dueling pianos. So she actually raised my brother and I on that money doing dueling pianos.
What is that?
Oh, so it's something that's kind of getting to be a little bit more common, like on cruise ships and in bars. They'll have like two piano
Um,
players adjacent from each other, and they do like requests and comedy, and it's pretty cool. If you
okay,
ever have a chance to go to one of those shows, they're fun.
that's interesting. You said dueling
Hmm.
pianos, huh?
Dueling pianos, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's super cool. My mom was one of the first women in it, I think.
Wow,
Hmm.
accomplishment, accolade.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Okay, so you don't want to be a dueling pianos. Is there? I'm curious if there's anything if that touring is the end all be all, or if, like when you if there is even something past that that you can see forecasting for yourself, or you're just like got to get there first, and then maybe I'll see once I've got to the peak of that mountain, I'll be able to look and be like, oh yeah, maybe that mountain over there. But I'm just
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know if or how I'll be able to get there, like even
mm,
there. Like I would love for there to just, be people at shows if I tour.
sure.
I've unfortunately had like I had a lot of friends that were in other bands back in the day when I was in a band, and some of them had toured, but they just kind of, it was the same size scale show, but they
Mhm,
were more known locally, so
mhm.
they toured, but
Right, they did the local circuit, but never made it out of the immediate.
right, right. So, they would go to like South Dakota or something, and it would just be kind of like the regulars at the bar,
Yeah.
which is still fun, but
Yeah, I feel like it's on some level it's 'cause this is a Dimitri Martin fucking picture he drew, or it's like his career fucking trajectory, or but it's like a map of his career, and it was just flying back between New York and LA, just a bunch of like straight lines. But I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean that's comedy. It's not specifically music, but
Yeah, it's like you kind of have to go where your fans already are.
yeah,
I
especially
imagine.
right, exactly.
Like it's just a dream for me right now, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's possible, man. I know, like, I'm sitting here talking to you, and like I'm living my dream, building a coaching business that I could have been doing fucking God knows fucking 6 years ago, but I put it off because I didn't feel worthy, and I didn't think I was like good enough, or having to ask for X amount of dollars to make it happen. Like,
isn't that the worst? Like it's so easy to be your own roadblock for so many years.
yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where like big fish in a small pond where you can't see, or like the frog in the whale, you can't see out into how big and
Hmm.
vast the actual world is. So like
Right.
you don't know, especially if you don't have a role model in your life. It was like already on some level of success, being like, well, actually, if you just believe in yourself and keep going, like eventually it'll fucking all work out. And you're like, oh fuck, really? God damn it, that's crazy. But there's that like you gotta just have like mental fortitude and mental like your brain has to be made of sandpaper to just be able to be like, I hear people are telling me to not to give up on it and be like them, but I'm not gonna do that because I wanna enjoy my life.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to just know in yourself that it's worth it no matter what, even if you don't succeed. And I don't even think that's like a negative way to look at it.
Hmm.
Because it's just great to be doing what you love. And it's a great
Yeah,
use of your time,
no,
I think.
definitely. You're absolutely I agree. I mean, this is Earl Nightingale. I had a friend recently because this kid inspired me to get back onto this life coaching thing. And he's I think he's like 2 years younger than I am. I'm 27. I think he's like 25, and he's bringing people to this retreat center that I like work at,
Mhm.
and he's like doing exactly what I want to be doing, and it's just like shit. This kid's younger than me, and doing it, making it happen.
You
So like,
can't think like that though.
well, in a way, because it's like you could take it as like because comparison is the thief of joy, yes, but like also insofar as that like inspiration is it not the like, hey, like this person's incredible. There's nothing stopping me from like getting,
Yeah,
or can be equally as incredible. Like,
absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it.
right? It's always when you're like, oh no, like I'm not good enough. I'll never be like them. Like just putting the
Oh
time and
yeah,
everything.
that's the part where you can't look at it that way or just be like, "Oh, I'm X years old and I don't know, age doesn't matter too much. It's all freaking branding."
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, sex sells, but sex sells what, right? Like depends on
Yeah.
your message, your niche.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard that especially like specifically within music that like merch is the way to go to make if you're gonna try to like make a living making music is like make good music so that you can make cool clothes that people are like, oh, I want to wear this person's clothes because their music sounds cool. Which is kind of ridiculous that that's the
It's like how do it the perspective now is that your music has to be a commercial for you to sell
mm,
something, and I think it is because like a lot of things have gone over to streaming, so people aren't buying music anymore. So that's kind
yeah.
of how the music industry has changed. But just do what you can, I think.
Yeah, do what you have to until you can do what you want to.
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
I think that's
good.
very true.
Yeah, I can't remember. Mm, no, maybe it was my friend Danny over here at my job, but I can't. Maybe it might not have been. Very important to me to cite my sources for just what I like to do, and who that kind of person I like to be. This is just out of the blue, not really based on anything. But do you use AI at all?
Not really. The only thing that I've used it for personally is when I was building my website. It really helped with like making the background
Sure.
and like maybe two or three other images that
Mm,
I've just used. But other than that, no.
no. So do you feel like AI art is real art, or is it just like something else?
Yes and no. I feel like it's too early to tell what exactly it is. I'm just
Mm,
kind of keeping an eye on it. Like it can be a good tool for certain things. I don't know. It's like we just kind of have to see where it goes and see what people actually end up using it for. I don't think anybody should be tricking people though, like saying they made something when it was AI. But I mean, other than that, I don't have much of an opinion yet.
mm,
It's not formed. It doesn't seem to like do the same thing that people do though. Like
mm.
hands are usually like there's extra appendages and like you know
Yeah, no,
it doesn't it yeah, it doesn't totally understand, but
it's wonky for sure. I've watched a couple of videos about it, and they're either like it's gonna fucking get to like the point where it's as good as people really qu soon, or we're gonna be sitting on this for the rest of the century, and it may never get there because of how big they got to make the data centers and shit. But
oh yeah, it's fascinating. Like it's very interesting. I like watching the whole process of all this, but I like knowing what is AI and what isn't for sure.
yeah, I mean, back to the thing of like good artists steal and great artists don't get caught. So like if you're just gonna say that this program is you, eventually at some point it's gonna be somebody somewhere is gonna find out that you're lying and it's gonna come out and then
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be like, oh, fuck this guy or gal,
Mhm.
whoever. I think that's why I
Yeah.
think integrity is so important.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think it's wrong to use it or anything. It's really interesting and it creates cool stuff, but yeah, just don't lie about it. And it's bueno.
Right? Oh, yeah, exactly. It's bueno. Muy bueno. Uh-huh. Hmm. I don't think I've ever actually got to ask this question before, so I'm just gonna
Oh.
do it right now. But are you a professional? And if so, why or why not?
A professional, like, I guess what does that mean to you? I don't
Right?
feel like one, but like I
Well,
feel like I'm
so
just doing what I love and hoping to get there, but
sure. I mean, yeah, there's that. At least you have that intention. At least you know that like there's a reason why and how is the mystery, but the why is infinitely more important or equally as important. The professional for me, at least on some level, is like doing it well, or at least like showing up. I guess in a way, like integrity is intertwined in professionalism, because it's like you could get booked in 100 shows, but if you only show up to fucking 4 of them, people are gonna never book you again. Like they're gonna be like, "What the fuck, dude? You said you were gonna be here, and you were the headliner, and now we can't fucking put the show on. Like what the hell?"
Okay, okay. To me, that means accountable, and I feel like yes, I'm accountable.
Mhm.
Like if I say I'm gonna do something, I will do it.
Sure.
And I try to have a professional attitude towards other musicians, and for collabing, I'll do what I say I'm gonna do. But as far as am I at a professional level musically, it's easy to be harsh with yourself. I don't know how to judge that.
Sure, yeah.
I've mostly had positive feedback, which has been amazing, but
Right.
I don't know if that makes me a professional though.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that usually you think of a professional is like, am I making my living doing it?
No.
Right. So then it's like,
It
oh,
is a
well,
money pit.
Yeah, yeah, especially if you gotta go in on equipment. Equipment is just like ridiculously expensive.
hmm I'm
But
luckily pretty set up. When I got my start, at least building my little at-home studio, I got a second job for that, and then all the money from that second job went in a separate account, and that was all I used.
mhm,
So, I mean, I'm pretty set up there, but it's the mixing.
yeah.
hmm
Yeah, dude, I see the dudes when they're like making the beats for their stuff, and when they work on my stuff, I'm just like, yo, like that's crazy. They're clicking and adding things and just like adjusting dials and knobs to make the sound better or worse. I'm just like, fuck. I hope I never have to learn how to do that shit. I really do, dude.
I want to learn, and I might one day learn from my mixing engineer. We talked
Mhm.
about that. He's super cool. But I didn't have the time with this debut because I was also filming and editing a music video too. So
Yeah,
the one you watched, I got another one I'm working on now too.
nice.
But hmm no time to learn fucking EQing.
Yeah, no, no, right now, nope. Gotta fucking put on every other hat first.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I want to. I think it's fascinating, but I'm not there. I'm
Right?
too busy.
Life, life,
Yeah,
man.
no kidding.
Tell me about it, Jesus. This one, I like this, especially. So I'm just gonna say this to anybody listening or watching. Check out her music. Check out the song. It's either in the description or somewhere. It is somewhere. You can find it. It's on screen, the link, or in the description. What would you say is the main theme or message behind either this project or like your art?
The main message. That there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm,
Um, I guess like I briefly mentioned earlier, I've been through a lot, and there's those dark places, but there is a light in there, and it's also not a straight line. Like Spider's Eyes is actually about so I was in a bad situation with a person for way too long, and you know how that can affect you mentally. And then eventually, when I was out of that situation, like it made it hard to trust new people because you're still kind of stuck in that, and it takes a while to kind of trust your own judgment, even because you know how sometimes if you're gaslit enough, like you don't trust your own judgment.
yeah.
You're just like I'm pretty sure that this person is being truthful, but I don't know. And
Mhm.
yeah, so I mean it is just kind of about the reality of that and how it's not over even though it's over.
Mhm.
But that's also not forever either. It's just a thing that you have to go through. And I wrote that because I wanted other people to know that like they're not the only ones, and it's okay if you've been there. A
Mhm.
lot of people have been there.
Yeah, dude, everybody's fucked up. Everybody needs trauma and healing. I don't really believe in like so much of talk therapy, but just some form of like meditative like introspection of like, am I good? Is this can I process my emotions in a healthy way and be healthy?
Mm-hmm.
It's just crucial. You just need to like be well, prefer to be well. Like health is the cornerstone of wealth, the foundation of it. So if like you're not healthy, you will quickly every other thing that you're doing in your life kind of like be harder to do.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, you just kind of have to work your way through that, and you are able to kind of build your path,
Yeah,
and it's one step at a time. Sometimes you go backwards, but it's in the end forward.
yeah. Like
Hmm.
life's a spiral that's constantly like expanding or contracting, like with every breath. And then sometimes it's like an escalator and you're going up, and then other times it's like it turns into a chute or a fucking a chute or a slide, and you're just going straight back down to where you used to be.
uh, yeah, for sure, for sure. But then you remember the way back though, at least the second time, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's possible. It's hard, but it's possible.
Totally. If it wasn't possible, and if you didn't have hope, if there wasn't light at the end of the tunnel, you would not continue to move forward or at all. You just get stuck right where you're at.
Hmm. And it doesn't have to be that way, even if it feels like it is that way.
Hmm. No, yeah, man. See if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Moving forward. Um, do you have a muse?
Amuse. I don't think so. Which is hilarious because that is a line in Spider's Eyes.
Damn, dude.
Found a way out my muse.
God damn it, dude.
But yeah, not really. I just try to write about the human condition
Mhm.
a lot of the time.
Sure.
And I'm starting to write more light-hearted stuff too sometimes because I think it does have to be a mix. And I was stuck in writing like a lot of negative stuff for a long time. But
Yeah, well, that's probably part of your healing cathartic like experience.
yeah, there was a long time it was my only outlet for any of that too. So naturally.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You can process it for long enough, and you're like, all right, I don't need to think like this or feel like this forever now. I can move
Yeah,
on, let go.
Lego.
Let go. Um, what I have to say or ask about does nature inspire you at all? Or like do you go out into the natural world and try to like enjoy the beauty of it?
Yes, so much nature inspires me. I like it. I like how there's stories within it and you can use nature for stories. I don't even know if that makes sense, but like even just this is a cliche example, but like being lost in the woods, it's just such a mental imagery that you can attach to so many other things metaphorically. And I love that
Mhm.
about nature. And I like thinking about it that way and like all the different patterns, in bark and grass. I don't know.
No, totally. I get that, dude. It's a take some mushrooms and walk through the woods, and you're just like, God damn, bro, this is beautiful. What the fuck? I can't believe we just get to live on this thing.
I know. Oh my God, I've never done shrooms, but I just act like I'm on them all the time, I swear.
Well, dude, I've met people like that who are like they're sober and they're just like kind of trippy and crazy, and
Mhm.
those are the kind of people that either like they take mushrooms and they're like, oh, this is just how I am all the time, or they like fucking freak out and are like, "Oh, I don't need this. This is too much."
Just this is me times 10.
Right, dude. What the fuck, bro? Why would you ever willingly do this? But yeah, it's crazy because when I was growing up, I was very much like until like the middle of high school when I started smoking weed, I was like, I'm never even gonna fucking drink. Like, I don't very straight edge, but my whole life is just fucking taking a left turn. Now
I
I'm
feel like
over
that
here.
happens a lot. I've been hearing that more and more lately. Just like people were straight edge in high school and then like, I don't know, early mid 20s, then they're just like, okay, I'm gonna try every drug.
Well, I haven't smoked crack, so
That's good.
or done cocaine, so I got that going for me. No heroin in the injectable form. I did the stuff that the I don't even know. I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but
You don't
the stuff
have
that was
to.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna because I'm
Okay.
silly. It's tramadol and Suboxone, the stuff that they would give you to get off of heroin. So
Oh.
good. It's so great. So great. But like don't that like grimy, scummy, like dumb teenage kid era where you're just like angsty at the world and just hate everything because you're stuck in a fucking institution that like is just brainwashing you. Like just fucking that was what and this is I'll look this shit up right now because this is actually a very relevant quote that was actually my senior quote in high school, and I feel like giving every opportunity that I can to share this is just perfect for me.
Let's hear
Had
it.
I had to change it from drugs to sandwiches, but sandwiches should never be used to escape a world that you hate, but instead to enhance your experience in the world that you already enjoy. For in darkness, they will make sobriety seem worse than living, and in light, they shall open your eyes to everything life has to offer.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've only, you know, but nothing else. It seems to me like it just amplifies your mental state with a
Mhm.
lot of these different substances. So, like, if it's good, then you'll just have like a beautiful, experience. But if you're just trying to escape, then it could maybe be overwhelming if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, no, definitely. Overwhelming or just like it just, especially with psychedelics specifically, makes your sense of self unwind sometimes. And if you can't be okay with not being in control, that can just not be
Mm.
fun for you.
Oh yeah, I've even noticed that just like in weed. It took me, well, I get it medically now, but beforehand, I couldn't do it just because it would make me so anxious. And
Mhm.
now I'm just like, it don't matter.
It's fine. I'm
Like I'm
fine.
good.
Right. Yeah, dude. I
Just can't get up.
right, dude. Yeah. That was the first time I ever did dabs. So it was like I literally stuck in the chair. I was like, oh, I can't drive home right now. I can't get out of this chair. Like, what the fuck? Oof, that shit was crazy. But
I
good
believe
times.
it. Crazy.
Yeah, dude. I just all the things. Like, being alive is crazy. Being alive is crazy.
For real. We're getting meta.
Yeah. This is it. This is what I do. This is what I do. Why I do it. Like to get meta with people. I'm like, hey,
Yes.
like, what do you think is going on?
Just none of us know.
No, no, they literally don't, dude. Like, ugh.
Uh,
I mean, this is sort of meta, I guess, in a way. Does religion or spirituality play any type of role in your life or your artistic creative process?
Not so much with my creative process. I have a complicated relationship with religion, but yeah, it's not too relevant to how I make music. The only thing that I will say though is probably the this is gonna just sound like a weird statement, but I remember almost feeling like possessed or something when I was playing shows. And
Mhm.
that was the only time I ever felt like that. It's like you lose yourself so much. And I don't know, maybe that could be considered a spiritual experience because it was like the most wholesome thing, you know?
Mhm.
Even stone cold sober, it's like you're not even in your own body and it's just amazing.
So was that, do you feel like you were full of love in that moment
hmm
for just being alive?
Just, yeah, and just so true to your, like 100% authentic to yourself. There's no mask, it's just you're performing. Yeah,
Okay.
it was an
And
amazing experience. I miss that a lot.
it'll come back,
Oh yeah. One day
right? That's it, man.
we'll get
When
there.
the stars line up again.
hmm
Sometimes I feel like I make way too many mistakes to be performing live, but it's just getting out of your own
Mistakes
way.
are an awesome part of playing live.
Oh my God.
Because it's okay. I was terrified when I played my first show, but I learned pretty quickly that mistakes are just a chance for you to kind of bounce back or make fun of yourself.
Mm,
And people just kind of roll with whatever energy you put out there.
sure. Right,
So,
yeah. If you get
like,
fucking sad about it, like they'll be like,
yeah,
oh.
Oh my God. Like I am not I play instruments good enough to write, but I can't shred. I'm not
Mm.
gonna lie to you and say I can shred.
No,
But
same.
back when I was in the band, there was a song that I played bass on, and anytime we would play that song live, I was just like, "Hey, you want to hear me suck at bass?"
Here we go.
Just they'd be like, "Whoa!"
Let's go. At least you're trying.
Yup, pretty much.
Oh my God, yeah. I
Uh,
guess I just suffer from like trying to take myself too seriously, which is ridiculous because I'm like I've been a clown before. Like I've been dressed up as like characters for kids' birthday parties and like twist balloons. I fly hot air balloons. Like I don't get how I just sometimes I just like I'm like I just want to be like I don't want to can't say that I want to be perfect because that shit's impossible, but it's just like I would like to be better than I am right now. Like fuck.
one of the most like locally successful bands that I knew back in the day. I'm not gonna name names, but honestly, their playing was not that good.
Oh, rip, dude.
Yeah, like they all sounded pretty new at their instruments and the songs it could have used quite a bit of work. But the pull that they had at those shows, they always packed houses because they were so fun. They just had this energy about them and you just wanted to be in their world and they were great.
God damn.
Like I'm
That's
not kidding. Like
amazing.
yeah, things do not have to be perfect. You just have to have like the right attitude and like, just own whatever energy you're putting out there, you know?
That's such great advice. Holy fuck. I need to live my life more like that. Fuck, man.
It took a long time to learn that.
Well, it's like life is a never-ending process of just energy being recycled forever and ever and ever. So,
For sure.
well, let's see now. Let's see now. What else can I talk to you about? I mean, I don't know if we already answered this realistically or not, but like, why are you an artist? Why do you make art?
I have to. There's no world where I wouldn't be doing it. And music is my number one. Love it so much. It is what I choose. But if I were not a musician, I would be a painter or something.
Mhm.
Like
So
I just have to.
it's just in you feel like it's in your DNA, it's in your soul.
Hmm. My whole life. There's not like I don't even remember as a little kid not wanting to do this stuff.
That's impressive. That's very impressive. I don't know. Maybe it's just like squeezed out of me by society because I remember like enjoying doing the stuff, but then just being like, oh, this is either too hard or like, yeah, no one's being like encouraging me because I guess maybe it's just a little kid. Definitely being around other musical parents was definitely like probably very
Yeah.
really encouraging.
Oh yeah, like, they wanted a creative kid because they themselves were creatives. So, like when they saw me doing that stuff, it was just like, yeah.
Right. Good
Do
job. Good job. Right.
it.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, man.
Hmm. I'm sure
Oh
it
well.
has to do with my attitude about the whole thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm so definitely certain of that, isn't it always?
For
See
sure.
my ways. I guess I don't know if we said this one or not, but what has helped you uh like develop the most in your artistry? I don't know, maybe said something similar to that, but
When I was in my band, not in a weird way, but like kind of trying to get into the head of my bandmates when they would write. Like, why are they doing what they're doing and what's causing them to make these decisions? And I did a similar thing. Actually, I'm doing a similar thing right now with my mixing engineer. Like, every now and then he might suggest like a change, and I try to really like dig into like, why does he think that? And oh, wow, yeah, like that's mind blowing. Yes, I will make that change and remember that for the future.
mm,
And even just hearing like the changes that he makes with EQing and stuff and how he creates space. I don't know. I really like figuring out why people want to do things the way that they do with music, and I think that's helped me grow a lot as a musician too. So I try to implement that.
That's oh my God, that's crazy. I don't know if I've ever considered that. Like, I guess I'm gonna have to at some point. That does sound like makes a lot of sense to me of just like really digging into the mentality or the mindset of other people, why they, because generally, especially if you're vibing with somebody as you're making the thing, it's like everyone agrees that it sounds good.
But yeah, it's like, why does it sound good? And like I started doing things like I would have never thought of this before. And they never like explicitly told me. I just noticed that like there's certain like if you're writing in a certain key and you're trying to get to a different key, you might have a stepping stone to get to that other key. I
Hmm.
just noticed that other people do that, and it's like that makes a lot of sense. They're doing that to transition it smoothly.
Yeah. I try to always tell the dude that I work with sometimes that I'm like, we need to like give something, put something in the song to give people like an ear like thing that's like, oh hey, like there's a change coming right now. It's not going to be, we're not just going to jump from one thing to the next
Right.
without any type of like heads up transition.
Mhm. Yeah, and even that there's a time for that, and then there's a time not to have that, and just shock people too.
No, definitely.
It's
Yeah,
like,
you're
when
right.
does it land and when doesn't it land?
Yeah,
That's
is it
all
on
in
the
like people's brains.
yeah, just playing mind games with the music.
Yep.
Playing mind games with the music. Um I feel bad having to go back and look at my notes. Right?
It's
It's not the
okay.
end of the world.
Not at all.
This is why we have notes, right?
Exactly. I wouldn't survive without notes.
To yeah,
That's too
exactly. Oh
chaotic.
my God, yeah, right. Like, oh, there's so many amazing things that I have not was like, oh, I'll remember that, and I didn't write it down, and it just is gone. I'm like, fuck, why did I do this?
Yep. That's my life.
Exactly right. This might be like really big or really small, but
Okay.
where do you think originality originates from?
It's stupid. My gut answer that I almost just blurted out was just like whoever did it first, but that's not what we're looking for here. But
In a way, it is.
yeah, because it's really hard to be like 100% original in this day and age because everything's been done and people are blending genres, but it's still kind of the blending of two genres. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a hard one to answer.
Yeah, it's well, because it's everything's a remix. Like everybody's stolen from everybody. Like we just didn't know who the fuck Beethoven was stealing from, or like
Right.
Picasso, like all the people. Like they had people that they were growing up looking at their shit and being like, I'm gonna take this and use it for later. It's also this weird. This is how I like to describe it based on the conversation that like even got me to start asking this question. Just shout out and put it somewhere on the screen somewhere. The Stephen Roach conversation. I think it was episode 25. It's like this two-headed dragon where it's like simultaneously things that were from the very beginning and something that I've never seen before. Those two things are happening simultaneously. That it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like to especially for like kids, because there's just so much shit as a little kid that you don't know like when they're making a reference to something else entirely that you're like it's brand new to you, so you're like, oh, this is original to you, and it's this giant game of history that you look back at like who was took from who all the way back to whenever it all originally originated. Like you want to go all the way back to the Big Bang, like the first sound, like what the fuck.
Yeah,
But
that was the original.
yeah, exactly.
uh,
The
yeah,
causeless cause.
it's like how philosophical are we getting? That being all said, like I feel like a lot of people are original. Like, even though they have influences, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like if you're tapping into your creative brain, cool.
Good job. Good on you.
Yeah.
Well, I had this experience where I was trying to do like singing lessons with this lady, and I like played her a song that I had like just written, and she was like, I can't tell who the fuck like yeah, if your influences are, dude, like what the fuck, what was this? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like I don't know. But
Just
I
me
was like,
make noise.
yeah, yeah, dude. I was proud of that. I was like, good, you can't tell. That's what I want. I want you to know
I know.
who I stole this from, I tried to concoct and pour in all these different ideas. So hopefully not, but if I were to hit the stop recording button and we were both immediately to die, what piece of wisdom or knowledge or like experience or thing would you want to be able to give to any of the listeners, or if it could somehow be telepathically communicated to all the other brains in the world, like be like, hey people, take this with you. It's important. What would you say?
Art should be a community.
Ooh,
Because, yeah, there's room for everyone in it. And it's just a beautiful thing. And we should all be a part of it and we should appreciate each other. And I just wish I could project that to everybody.
wow. I love that. I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
I
For me, that's like half the fun of doing this and talking to
know.
all these people.
It's so great. Like I've met so many cool people making music and like had these experiences I would have never had in my life otherwise. And just relating to other people and encouraging other people and then they root for you back. I don't know. It's really nice.
It's so much fun. Art is to be a community. Wow. That's so antithetical to how I live my life. I'm so like such a robust individual, and I feel the need to be alone so frequently. But there is that like caveman part of my brain that's like I should like have a family at some point and like some kids so that I don't die old and alone, because that would suck. Oh my goodness.
Well, what you're doing here is really great too. Like talking to artists about their art. Like that's a really great thing that you're doing.
I would just love to be able to get to a point where like there's enough attention on it that anybody that I meet that I'm like, oh hey, like if you like talk to me for an hour, like I could change your fucking life if you just talk to me for an hour and you're like slightly interesting and have enough shit that's like you have some offering for people when they like go to check out your shit that like they'll like get some value out of it or like can pay you for the thing or whatever it is. Like just want to be able to do that for other people, facilitate that like step up in their life.
That's really cool. I want that to happen for you. It's we're both in it, man.
It's inevitable.
Yes. You'll
It's
do it.
inevitable.
You'll do
We're
it.
doing it. You'll
You're
do
doing
it.
it.
You're doing it.
We're
I'm
doing
just a.
it.
We're doing it. Art is a community. Art is a community.
Yes, exactly.
All right. I'll just say that be present in the moment of whatever you're doing. That it's just really easy to get stuck in the past and be anxious about the future, but just like the only thing that ever truly exists is right here, right now. So enjoy that shit. Enjoy it. I guess Reba, but also Fireside Shadow. Where can the people find you, and what are they gonna get when they get there besides awesome music?
Okay, so on YouTube under Fireside Shadow, I have my music video on there. I'm on Threads, same tag, Fireside Shadow, Instagram. I have a website, firesideshadow.com. I try to make it easy.
You did a good job.
That's yay. So yeah, if you could just remember my name.
Like my
Find it all.
videos. There you
Yeah.
go. Buy my
Do the
merch.
things. Yeah, buy my merch.
There you go, dude. There you go. All right. So as she was describing it, it was all on the screen, people. I hope you check it out, and links are most likely in the description. I will just say that if you are feeling like you need to connect to yourself better or like want to connect to your intuition, I finished a free 3 week, 21-day intuition course, and that link is also in the description. It's literally free. Just sign up. I want to email you a monthly newsletter slash life updating thing when it's the first of the month or the end of the month, whatever I decide, when I get enough people that are interested. So check that shit out. Smile more, complain less. Never, ever, ever give up till you discerns for your darndest best. Namaste. Have a great day. Slashing if it's nighttime soon. Like, share, comment, subscribe to keep the algorithm satisfied, and I appreciate your time and attention. Until next time.